Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McGonigal reporting. For the fifth straight day, there are no new cases of coronavirus to report in Montana. The total number of confirmed cases for Montana remains at 478. However, the state has sustained its 17th COVID-related death. The victim is a woman in her 80s in Yellowstone County. It's that county's third death. There are 21 active cases in Montana and 3 people are hospitalized. Department of Labor leaders are hard at work making sure Montanans receive their unemployment payments, but not everyone is seeing the benefits that they deserve. The Rebound Montana's Keely Van Mittendorp has more.
City bus driver Mark Statham was furloughed from his job due to COVID-19 back in March. He'd previously worked as a seasonal truck driver and had applied for unemployment benefits before.
So I really had an advantage, I thought, compared to most people.
But he soon found out a filing error on the state's part would lead to months of uncertainty and frustration.
But it's just closed door, closed door, closed door. End of call.
He reached out to the Department of Labor and Industry multiple times, hoping to correct their mistake.
2 times out of, I think, 213, 2 times I was able to get an answer.
Statham says he was told his case would be settled and his benefits approved. But after more weeks of waiting, still no follow-up.
Non-pay due to unresolved issue from 411, 509, 516.
Statham says it was only after he called Senator Jon Tester's office this month that his case was settled that same day.
Then unemployment gave me a call back and said, oh, we just processed that this morning.
He worries others that don't have as much determination aren't getting through.
You have to throw a pretty big rock to get somebody to listen. Surprise.
That dial tone means that they did not get into the queue.
DLI spokesperson Lauren Lewis told MTN News there is still a way to speak to an operator, but doesn't guarantee all calls will be taken. Statham also attempted to leave a half dozen emails through the DLI site with no luck.
I've got an updated computer. When you write a note to them and hit submit, boom, it throws you into a page that says error.
He says the option to even email the state disappeared on some pages.
Your claimant handbook, in Spanish, nothing in there about how to contact them.
Lewis told MTN News the department is currently updating features on their site.
We did initially take down the dashboard on the UI claimant portal to stabilize the system.
Lewis says callers who dial and email the department repeatedly are only hampering efforts to help fellow Montanans.
It's absolutely congesting our incoming lines.
Statham says he understands the department is inundated right now, but believes improvements must be made.
They should open the phone. They should pick up the phones. You know, I know they're busy, but man.
Lewis says they received 2 million calls in April compared to 13,000 for the month of February.
We've shifted approximately 200 staff members to assist our UI division.
She says they also have 75 people solely focusing on cases with more employees in training.
We have lots of employees here working for the Montanans that really need help at this time.
The DLI has seen a 1,452% increase in initial UI claims since Montana saw its first COVID-19 case. They've issued $376 million in unemployment benefits since March 16.
Processing Montanans' claims really is our top priority.
Statham says he's able to forget everything except what he feels is an attempt to block concerns as officials deal with cases.
I called it a firewall several times. They have blocked calls.
Tester says there are problems within any department, but it will take everyone to find better solutions.
Get them to your federal delegation. Tell your county commissioners about it. I just think if there's an opportunity to spread good ideas around, I think we need to do it.
Statham says the pandemic has left his family to run on one income and can't help but wonder how many other Montanans are in his situation or worse.
They can't collect the benefits that they've earned.
He's left at a standstill until he can return to a new normal.
Beef it up. We're having an emergency here. You guys are working, your paychecks are coming in.
In Great Falls, Keely Van Mittendorp, MTN News.
Department of Labor and Industry says many Montanans are getting their benefits in April. 78 94.7% of all Montanans who filed received their benefits within the month. We have more ways and how to get in contact with DLI on our websites. Lewis and Clark Public Health will receive more than $200,000 through the Federal CARES Act to help cover its costs of responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. The state has allocated $5 million in emergency grants to public health organizations. Lewis and Clark County Health Officer Drenda Neiman says her agency spent more than $108,000 on COVID-related expenses in March and April. She says 22 staff members have been working almost exclusively on the coronavirus with efforts like enforcing public health restrictions and doing contact tracing. County leaders say Lewis and Clark Public Health will play an important role going forward as they try to find safe ways to continue local services.
It is very important that as we're maybe at this little bit of a lull, we should not lull ourselves to sleep and not pay attention and realize that this COVID pandemic is far from over and that we need to make plans prospectively.
The grant funding could also help cover some of public health's lost revenue due to COVID-19. Neiman said they lost about $17,000 they would normally have made through immunization clinics and other services that had to be canceled. Well, Broadwater County Commissioner Laura Obert has been charged with felony theft and official misconduct, a misdemeanor. The theft charge stems from an incident dating back to 2015, where Obert allegedly told Broadwater County payroll to give her additional hourly pay over her salary as a commissioner. Court records say the additional pay above her salary total nearly $8,900. Obert is also accused of not properly disclosing conflicts of interest when voting on matters where the Montana Business Assistance Connection was involved. Her husband, Brian, is the executive director. Court documents say Obert entered a deferred prosecution agreement in 2016, repaid the money, and agreed to disclose any further conflicts of interest as a commissioner. Obert is alleged to have breached the terms of that agreement by not disclosing her ties with MBAC on 6 private occasions. Obert's lawyer, Brian Gallick, told MTN his client is not guilty of the charges and is looking forward to her day in court. She's scheduled to make her first appearance on June 5th. State Attorney General Tim Fox has asked the Montana Supreme Court to overturn a judge's ruling on the deadline for counting mailed absentee ballots next week. A state district judge in Billings ruled last Friday if a mailed primary election ballot is postmarked by Election Day, it must be counted. But Fox asked the Supreme Court to take control of the case and block the judge's order while deciding the issue. Fox is asking the High Court to maintain the current rule, which says that mailed absentee ballots are counted only if they arrive at county election offices by Election Day. Montana is in the midst of its first statewide election with all mail ballots. Voting in the primary election began May 9th and is continuing through next Tuesday, Election Day. The Supreme Court may accept the case and could also ask the state Democratic Party, which brought the lawsuit, to respond. If it does, the High Court is expected to fast-track a ruling before Election Day. The Supreme Court has not yet issued a response. The Cascade County Sheriff's Office recently finished installing a new switchboard system in their jail facility. MTN's Matt Holzaffel took a tour of the jail and shows us what's new.
Under construction since February, the new switchboard system at the Cascade County Detention Center is finally complete.
Well, they're just basically far more reliable. They work all the time where our old ones weren't working properly.
The old switchboards, in use since 1997, Sheriff Jesse Slaughter says it was time for a change.
They have more safety features for the officers. There's identification pieces to this as well, where they can identify who's in what cells. There's so many features I can't even begin to describe to you all the different ways that it's going to help better our facility and make it more efficient.
All this as part of a plan to keep the building ready to handle any task thrown its way.
A building like this gets a lot of wear and tear on it, and you have to have a robust capital improvement plan to make sure you're keeping up with day-to-day maintenance.
The project cost $580,000 and involved multiple contracts acquired through city commission bids. A price tag that Sheriff Slaughter says was worth it.
Absolutely, it's expensive. There's nothing inside this facility that isn't. That's the reality of it. But we feel that this is an important step to not only protect our staff, but also the inmates.
In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
The new system also allows detention facility workers to have more control over security measures like isolating cell doors and communicating with other officers. Well, yesterday we told you a portion of the River's Edge Trail in Great Falls is temporarily closed. Work got underway today to replace the pedestrian crossing between the Civic Center and Mitchell Pool parking lot. According to Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, it will improve the surface for bikes, pedestrians, and wheelchairs. The crossing will be closed through tomorrow. Well, it's been a windy day here in Montana. Our Storm Tracker weather team is here to tell us more. Grant Garland joins us now. Grant, talk about those winds.
Oh, I mean, just in that video right there, you saw kind of the caution tape blowing in the wind, and that's not a surprise. We've seen wind gusts from 20 to almost 40 miles an hour, depending on your location. Looking up towards Cut Bank at 38 miles an hour for your wind gusts for the past 24 hours, 35 in Great Falls, 37 in Helena, as well as out towards Jordan, and 28 in Glasgow. Now, we are looking at sustained winds at the moment out of the southwest here in Great Falls at 25 miles an hour, as well as up towards Havre. A little bit breezier down in Helena, just by 1 mile per hour at 26, and out towards the Cut Bank west at 23 miles an hour. Temperatures also not too shabby. 71 degrees here in Great Falls, 73 in Helena, 70 in Lewistown, 75 in Havre, and 67 in Cut Bank, 74 in Glasgow. Now today's high we did reach here in the Electric City, 73 degrees. Doesn't quite beat the record though, 21 degrees higher at 94 degrees when it was 1936, also the year that a loaf of bread costs around 8 cents. How about that? Coming up, we'll talk about some warmer weather moving in from the south later in the show. Tim, back to you.
Thanks, Grant. Also coming up, plenty of pomp and some unique circumstances. Hart Butte heads outdoors to celebrate the class of 2020.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. Like many things across the United States, sports are beginning to see a slight resurgence. With that comes more sports betting. Sportsbet Montana opened kiosks all across the state shortly before the COVID-19 pandemic. Now sports are beginning to return, and Jennifer McKee, communications manager for the Montana Lottery, says the sport with the most number of bettors up to this point is mixed martial arts, with over $30,000 wagered. Sports like Korean baseball and golf are also seeing some action as well, but those sports aren't exactly what they expected to see.
We're seeing them participate in Sportsbet Montana kind of exactly as we thought they would, not necessarily in the specific sports that we thought they would, but with a certain kind of enthusiasm. I mean, we knew there was a lot of demand and excitement for Sportsbet Montana, and now that people are able to be in those locations, we are starting to see the product really taking off.
Well, congratulations to the 2020 senior class of Hart Butte High School. Yesterday, 16 students earned their diplomas during a ceremony complete with social distancing measures. The class used many traditional decorations for the ceremony and held it outdoors on the football field. The school superintendent said after an unusual academic year, they wanted to honor the students with something special.
To do it in a way that made them feel real good about it, made them feel like they were special as well, and it was a good way to end their high school career, I think.
Well, late July temperatures are moving in this weekend. I'll have more coming up after the break.
Thanks.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope that you have had a great start to your work week. A lot of us going back to work today. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen our winds really pick up. I mean, 20 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts wherever you are located. Up towards Cut Bank, that's where we're seeing the 40 mile per hour wind gusts almost. 35 in Great Falls. A little bit breezier, though, down in Helena at 37. Head on over to Jordan, 37 as well. Up in Glasgow, just slightly around 9 miles below that. But still, I mean, that's pretty windy if you ask me. sunny. And we are looking at our winds kind of staying with us at least for the next hour, but then they will die down greatly. As we head throughout the night, we're going to see our winds die down to around 10 to 20 miles an hour in the Electric City as well as Capital. Lewistown 10 to 20 miles as well. But check out this. We're going to see our winds actually shift towards the east. And so in the morning, this is where we're going to see Glasgow as well as Jordan looking at higher wind speeds. So just heads up. We are going to be looking at our winds going out towards the east, shifting in strength. So we'll be doing fine tomorrow morning. But folks in Glasgow as well as out in Jordan, you guys are going to need to hold on to your hats for us because it will be breezy. Now temperatures outside 71 in Great Falls. Look at that. It looks beautiful too. Helena 73, not too shabby. Cutbank 67 and Lewistown 70 degrees as well. It is all in all a really nice afternoon. And we're looking at other temperatures similar to us. Lewistown, well, we already said 70, Glasgow 74, Jordan 76, out towards, let's see, Missoula 71, 69 in Kalispell, and 67 in Cutbank. And as we take a look at our entire state, we're looking at mainly just partly cloudy skies for a lot of us. Glasgow all the way to Havre, looking at mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. Down towards Great Falls to Helena, also looking at partly sunny to mostly sunny skies. The moisture stays off towards down Billings, and this is all thanks to the cold front that we talked about yesterday. It will continue to push down towards the Dakotas, and as it does so, we're going to see this high pressure kind of strengthen in. Now tonight we're going to see clouds build in, but as the high pressure strengthens, we're going to actually see a gradual clearing for us in the north central Montana area. So tomorrow we will wake up to mostly cloudy skies. Then as the day wanes on, gradually becoming more and more sunny. Then Thursday by 6 a.m., high pressure shifts gears and it's going to start to actually build up for the ridge. It's going to strengthen and we're going to see our temperatures really take a spike. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Warm air is going to start to come into the area by Thursday. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit cooler. Notice this high pressure though in the mid level of the atmosphere. This ridge, it kind of looks like the arc right there. Watch how it strengthens. It's going to start to build up by Friday, still warmer air, and then we're going to see this ridge really take hold. The hot air moves in and we're going to be looking at temperatures around 90 degrees, and that right there, those are July temperatures. So Saturday and Sunday, 87 degrees for us here in the Electric City. Down towards the Capital, a little bit warmer at around 89, possibly 90 degrees. And this is all, well, because, hey, we're only 25 days away from summer. So I know that puts a smile on a lot of our faces. Heading throughout the next couple of days for us here in the Electric City, we will see a mix of sun and clouds. Saturday and Sunday, we'll start to see the slight chance for showers and thunderstorms as well as on Friday. I think our best chance to see any showers will be on Tuesday when temperatures are 79 degrees. And then for Helena, we're going to be looking at a better chance of showers and thunderstorms, primarily from Friday through really the long-term forecast through Tuesday. Tim?
Well, after the break, should she take what's behind the curtain? A Montana woman reflects on her appearance alongside Wayne Brady on Let's Make a Deal.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 530 News continues on Montana's News Leader.
A Great Falls native will make her national TV debut on Monday. MTN's Tom Wiley tells us where you can watch.
Shauna Applegate is a family practitioner at Alluvian Health in Great Falls, and at work, she's all business. But if you turn on the TV Monday morning, you might see a different side of the healthcare provider.
The green pea right here. Is it Shauna? Come on, Shauna.
Last year, Applegate and her grandma Cheryl took a trip to the West Coast where part of the adventure was attending and being a contestant on the long-running game show Let's Make a Deal.
So we made our costumes on the way, like as we were driving and traveling, which was very interesting. We were 2 peas in a pod, you know, kind of true to life. The day we were there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and taping an hour and a half, so it was a long day. And
Applegate can't disclose the results of the show, but she can tell you her time on camera is worth watching.
Go!
You know, you never think you're going to get picked on one of these things, so I wasn't really completely paying attention when they were like, this is the way you run, this is what you do, and yeah, I probably did some things that were not called for, ran the wrong way, wig falling off. It was a blast.
Appearing on national TV was certainly a highlight But it wasn't the purpose of the trip.
So my grandma was going through cancer treatment for lung cancer, and she wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. So I decided, let's make a big thing out of this. So we flew to Arizona, drove to the Grand Canyon, over to Hollywood, went to a day of Let's Make a Deal, and then we drove to Vegas and flew home.
An adventure worth remembering, whether she wins or not.
It's a new Audi A3.
It was so much fun.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
Shauna's grandmother underwent successful chemotherapy in 2019 and is looking forward to her next trip. Applegate's appearance on Let's Make a Deal airs Monday at 10 a.m. right here on MTN. We'll be back with a final check of weather.
Well, as we go throughout the night, by 9 p.m., 62 degrees, mostly clear skies, but then clouds are going to start building in. But thankfully, that high pressure tomorrow will allow for us to see partly sunny skies in the afternoon. Waking up tomorrow morning for Helena, looking at temperatures around 50 degrees. And taking one last look at our 7-day forecast, temperatures warming up to July temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a hot one. And for our friends in Helena, a little bit warmer than us, 89 degrees on Saturday.
Wow. So stay cool at the end of this week.
Stay cool. Strap an air conditioning unit to your back. Do something.
Good advice. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.